virus.
Okay, guys, so now we are live in all over the world. We are live on Facebook, on the bots community. Hi there, guys, if you are watching. This is the closing session of our fourth bots camp. We just had some great presentations, and now looking forward for a closing statement and an outlook, but this I will give at the end. So Maurice, more than happy to hand over to you, like to have like a short roundup of what happened the last, was it? Yeah, 4 hours.
Yeah, the last 4 hours, quite intense, you know, always impressing the bandwidth we cover with the bots camp in automation, bots, AI, and machine learning. Here we have a bunch of men, you know, the most voted. We have the Marc, no, here, over there, no, over there. Then we have Stampfli, we have the Bret, and the Joe. So, nice to have you guys, but first of all, you know, the simple question would be for me, did you have a special experience during the bots camp and maybe your first time participating at a digital conference, you know, where a heavy carbon offset, no one has to travel around and whatever it is? Was there a special experience? Maybe not going into the 10 liters of coffee you drank behind the camera, but something which you experienced during the time now. Who would like to start?
Well, I'll jump in here because I think.
Bret.
All right, go ahead, Maurice. You need to moderate.
Yeah, fair enough. Okay,
Bret,
so
Bret,
I would
Bret
just say that I would just say that there were two things that stood out for me. One is that using this system through Slack, I think, is really fascinating. I was able to join the bots camp in June, and being able to not just be able to project, but to create this sort of interactive medium through a platform that's designed for messaging and for connectivity, I think is really a good one. And then the other one I would say is really just meeting everybody. So it might be that the six of us could have gotten together and the other people in the community could have gotten together somewhere at a conference, but it certainly wouldn't have been this efficient. And I think that it would be unlikely that we would have all come together at the same time. And I really like that perspective. One of the things I mentioned in my presentation in the beginning was a little bit of a disclaimer that a lot of the discussion around the movement, the activity, and the voice platform war is really U.S. centric. I had a piece on China as well, but it's because those companies are the ones that have the cash flow, have the existing assets, and have made the choice to really focus on that. And what I find is that most of and I'm in the media, so I'm part of this problem probably, but I find that most of the reporting in this space really has a U.S. centric view and occasionally a China slant. And I think it's really important for us to get the global perspective. And I think Thomas and Maurice, you've done a nice job of pulling this together to really get people from different parts of the world engaged.
Thanks, Bret. I think that's the thing, you know, this automation not connected to any country or any border. It's in fact borderless. And sometimes I say lately even bracketless. You know, to automation there are no brackets. It's just exploring and experiments. Marc, what did you experience on your side?
Which Marc?
Well, you know,
Meadows.
Which one?
Okay. And Mr. Stampfli, I'll look forward to you following up on this. Perhaps Maurice, correct me if I'm off there. You know, be back here among a number of friends, and Mr. Hall and several other folks who I've known for the last several years showed up. And I think one of the things about community, I mean, it was they showed back up on Slack, and I hadn't seen them in a while, and I was so happy to reconnect with people I hadn't talked with in years. So first off, you guys have done a really good job of building a community, because, you know, if we all have our reputation somehow intact, maybe that's what really helps a community bind itself together across all these different borders. And, you know, I think it's also really important that we decentralize the focus around the United States companies. We really make sure that as we build international companies, that we are considering the world and automation as something that's going to have global impact. So I'll shut up with that, and perhaps Mr. Stampfli, I can hand it off to you. Maurice, is that fair?
It's cool.
Okay, thank you. For me, it was actually, the beginning was a complete different experience because I didn't think that you can have that many problems behind the scene, because I had a couple of windows flashing in and so on, but you still had to continue with your speech, and it did not end, you know, it was coming in again and again. So you guys probably didn't see that, but I had a complete mess on my side. So I can tell you, it's actually quite different experience. I think it's an experience we should do more. And I can tell you, there's one thing very interesting. In our company, we had just started kind of a project or program. It's called Commercial Tribe, where all the people, they have to do some exercises actually exactly like this. They have to do it exercise in front of camera with people and so on. So you guys actually picked up already what now we started to copy here as well. And I think it's a new skill, because it's not that easy just, you know, to talk, to have a camera and don't see the feedback. And even when you see the feedback, it's probably some delay, right? It's not about just the topic. I think the topic everybody knows, but a lot of other things going on at this time, which makes it difficult. But then there were two things which I found out, and think when I looked at some of the presentation, I found, at least from what I saw here, there are two sides. There's one side, a lot of American-centric, right, where I see quite a hotspot of things going on. And then I see, however, also Asia is quite rising. You know, it's Asia is really putting a lot of effort in research and so on. And at the moment, it feels a bit like a battle. You know, Asia and China, they try to do something, and then the US tries to do something, and so on. And it actually reflected in some of the speeches here as well, where they're looking at the different markets, some of the products. And it's very interesting to see here and get this feedback as well, that what I see, that's actually what's going on in the market.
Cool. I can add to that as I am working in education also since a very long time as a lecturer or teacher, and nowadays they call it transversal competences. Finally, it starts. What you mentioned, Marc, is, in my opinion, is finally the start of recognition, or to recognize transversal competences means people, different mentalities, different countries, different educations coming back, let's say, into the Slack community, because in the bots camp that happens already. And even without a perfect moderation, which is coming anyway from the behavioristic times where the teacher said, shut up and learn, I know everything. So it opens up to more like a learning landscape where everyone is invited to participate and to explore, and maybe to find something interesting, or let's say a way of thinking. Maybe you would say, I would never have done this like the one has did it. And so that's the start of, you know, interdisciplinary inspiration. And the bots camp is living it. Sometimes we did some publications about it, but it is in a way something like staying quiet for the moment. But I think there is no stopping that. No wonder co-working, co-creation is on the rise. You know, and it goes along with automation. But before I will, you know, talk again in my epic width, which I'm doing in the lectures as well, Joe, what is your remark about the highlight you experienced?
Yeah, so I think everyone covered mine pretty well, but would definitely like to echo. It was interesting to speak to my presentation by speaking to my presentation. So that was a challenge I wasn't used to before. But it was also, I mean, like everyone else said, it's great that we have a global community here. One of my biggest pushes is, you know, having been inside Google and Silicon Valley, seeing what they're working on, it's something that I know we need to have a global community working on these things. It's very important as we scale automation. And so I'm glad someone's taking the initiative. So thank you for doing that.
Cool. To Barcelona, the founder, Thomas Schulz.
Yeah.
Do you have a remark of today?
No, again, you know, it was the 4th edition. We had 13 presentations, or at the end we had 12 because one couldn't do it, which we will do later on. But this is always a great experience. But on the other hand, some risk as well if you make it everything digital. You know, participants, presenters, time zones. But still, we are working on it. We are getting better every edition we are doing. So. No, I'm quite happy what happened, and yeah, looking forward to our 5th edition already, which is planned for December 7. And but I have to say now, this was like the last bots camp we made, because when I started the idea with bots camp, it was all about mainly bots, you know. But now the presentations we had, or the movements, is like more AI, machine learning, bots, chatbots. And especially as well, what we are going to focus for the next, with the next edition, is about robotics as well. And that's why we are going to rename our conference, and it will be called Bottish, because you have seen perhaps already with short links. So the bots camp is dead, long live Bottish, meaning because we will focus on AI, bots, machine learning, robotics, and another change, what we are going to do as well, we will merge the online with offline, meaning we will stream the content, the presentations we have here, to local meetups in cities. Meaning we will have like Barcelona, we have some cities already in Switzerland who are going to join us. They will have local meetups, we will stream the content, we will have interactions with chat and on the live stream. So we will move and we will change after 1 year, because it was on the 7th of December last year when we had the first conference. And as you see, we are changing as well. But I'm really looking forward to the changes, to the rebranding, renaming, and we see a great growth of our community. We have over 40 countries already in our Slack community, and perhaps you have seen or noticed this as well. We have like a ranking, which is already called Bottish 100. And there we have like currently 2,600 people from, I think from 100 countries already listed in this ranking. And this is amazing. We get like every week, we have like 20 to 50 more people working in this space. New companies, new players, new persons, and the ranking is, we are going to push this more, and we are going to use this as well for our conference, because they are great people who could present at our conference. So, and this is like a short roundup, what will happen for our next edition on December. And yeah, you're more than welcome if you want to join this next step for Meet Bottish, how it is called, like the local meetups, what we're going to organize. And I'm really looking forward. We have like already 6 or 7 cities. And yeah, I don't know where we are going to be in another year's time, but I'm quite convinced that this is like something online, offline combination, what the people will like.
I'm sure that too, as I say to the students, no headache development.
Absolutely.
I think that's it so far. It was really great to have you. As Thomas said, it would be fantastic to see you again in this digital community, which we are going to transfer a little bit, as we heard. So that broadens up the horizon and the exchange, you know, limits. You know, there is no limit in automation, as I think personally. So it's just a symbol of the fast growing knowledge gain which is going on around the world. So Marc, Bret, Joe, thank you all for being here, for contributing. Like it was the same situation like I remember when being a little RJ, you know, I was working in the radio once for a year, and there again, you are talking to the microphone in the studio, you don't see the audience, but you have to feel it in a way And this is also a new competence in the digital age. You have to start with rhetorics, maybe with camera training, or you are a self-starter or autodidact, then you learn it somewhere in the field or in the jungle, wherever. But this is a competence which is needed in the future, you know, to have the power or the flexibility or the flair or the chance to do it like the old radio times, you know. There's nothing much more. It's just which was added on the way. So thank you all. It was nice having you. And yeah, hope to see you again. Thomas, one last
statement, because we grabbed all the videos, all the replay, the content, the great content you provided to us, you know. And if you want to get all the replays, best you join our Slack community, and the short link is join.bottish.co, and there you then will be onboarded, and Sparky, our Slack bot, then will provide you more information. It will take some days until we are ready with all the replays, but already preparing for December 7th. So if you want to join as presenter, then just apply bottish.co, and looking forward to the next and 5th edition, December 7, online, or as I said before, in various cities, hopefully soon all over the world. So yeah, thanks again having you with us all, and yeah, have a nice evening, afternoon, morning, wherever you are, and let's go Bottish, no?
Right. Let's go Bottish.
Yay, guys. Yay. Thank you very much.
Okay. Thank you very much.